Do you remember YouTube Annotations? Okay, I better not see any comments calling me unk or whatever because I'm not old. But it was a feature introduced 16 years ago. Okay, maybe I'm a little old. But basically, it was a feature where YouTubers could place transparent boxes on top of their existing videos, add text, and even include links to other videos. You can add as many as you wanted and even speech bubbles to it. And it was killed off. But before that, it was introduced with a Google-produced video. And the video was basically the classic shell game, where an item was placed under a cup, and you get the option to either pick left, middle, or right. And spoiler alert, the correct answer is left. Then at the end of it, you're promoted to try the harder one. In that one, it starts the same, but then a massive annotation gets in the way, blocking everything. Basically makes it impossible to see where it's going. However, it didn't matter which one you picked, because it all leads to Rick rolling. It's kind of a perfect introduction to all of this because it would be used for memes, trolling, lots of deception, and whatnot. But not everyone would use it to troll. Some Let's Players would create level selectors and viewers could go to exactly the part they wanted in the really long hour-plus walkthroughs. And this was way before chapters on YouTube. On top of that, users would correct mistakes in videos, which was especially useful in lyric videos that were made in Windows Movie Maker. But it obviously wasn't all good. With the inclusion of transparent boxes, you as a viewer could not see the annotation at all. Then, when you go to pause a video or click anywhere on the screen, it'll redirect you to a random video. This was very annoying, mainly because after they get you a few times, you'll get PTSD and you'll get scared to even pause a video. Even my blind, nostalgic eyes can't defend this. But then in 2009, YouTube made collaborative annotations. This wasn't a well thought out feature, even though I did like it. Basically, a creator could set annotation access to public, and anyone could put their annotations on their video. And as you can assume, chaos ensued. You'd quickly get an incomprehensible mess where you can't see the video at all, because it's just layers and layers of annotations. But I think it's kind of beautiful seeing everyone leave their mark on the video. It's kind of like an early version of Reddit's r/place. I don't know, I guess I like this feature because most videos didn't use it, which is not a good sign of a good feature. But the few times where this was used felt like a rare surprise to see. So as long as you didn't use the feature, it was a great feature. And that you knew what you were doing before you made it public. But I will say the self-promo was pretty lame. And this feature was quickly removed. But the reason I didn't see it as much was the popularization of smartphones. See, phones never got annotations, and thankfully so, because that would have been a horrible nightmare with touchscreen. But I distinctively remember not being able to continue watching series on YouTube because back in the day, end screens were just annotations. There was so much interesting interactive content that I was missing out on just because I preferred using mobile. This was mainly because of how laggy my laptop was. But this would be a popular sentiment because in 2012, around 40% of users were on mobile, and in 2022, 75% was on mobile. I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but they can't be too far off from the truth. It's sad to see because YouTube felt like a place for all things video related. But slowly but surely, the feature would be phased out and completely being removed in 2019. At this point, interactive video content is only on niche sites and Netflix, mainly with Black Mirror's Bandersnatch. Aside from that, there's not really that much interactive video content. Even on Netflix, the library is shockingly small, and it always felt like a niche medium, or genre. I don't know what to call it. It's this weird thing. But I do wonder what the future of interactive video looks like. And speaking of Black Mirror, I can't help but think about Season 6, Episode 1, Joan is Awful. If you haven't seen it, it's a very meta episode where a highly advanced AI produces highly personalized content, where famous celebrities have sold their likeness and everything is computer generated, all in an effort to recreate your life story. that could be watched by everyone. In a weird way, it's interactive because what happens in the show is what happened in the life of the viewer. While obviously this is sci-fi fiction and so far from happening, I would like to mention in the latest season of The Boys, Amazon gave the creatives the option to have personalized ads where the product in the show would change depending on who's watching, but the creatives said no and turned it into a joke. So the tech is here and it's a lot closer than we think. I don't know, I just feel like I have to talk about that story. It's just too interesting and I don't see enough people talking about it. So I just wanted to throw that in there, but I'm yapping. Let's get back to the point of the video and talk about how sad it is that annotations have to go. It really highlights how YouTube changed over the years. While I'm too young to remember, YouTube's old channel layout was highly customizable. It really allowed the creators to express themselves. However, this could be very confusing to the user, and it wasn't easy to create, so a lot of channels looked very ugly. But most importantly, I'm assuming it hurt site performance. Loading all this stuff was probably demanding on their servers, so it ended up being cut, all in an attempt to create a technically perfect product, even if it meant losing the soul of what made it unique in the first place. And it's what we wanted. I hate to be that guy, but under capitalism, the corporation must understand us and optimize the product as much as possible, and also minimize the product, all in an effort to maximize profits. So this is the ending we chose, in a weird way. You know it's not a good video essay, unless you mention capitalism. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Liking is optional, but subscribing is mandatory. I must maximize profits.